Hello, welcome to the Tuesday Buzz on this nice rainy Tuesday. I'm Melody,
I'm Dustin.
and we decided we'd actually hop on today on the Tuesday Buzz. You've been watching the past three videos have been about people in the community, but we thought we'd hop on today and kind of talk about exactly what the Hive Collective is, how it came about, and just give you kind of a brief synopsis about the Hive Collective itself. When we do our little town halls, usually people ask us a lot of questions and we give our presentation and that kind of thing. So today we figured what we would do is just hop on here and talk about how it started. So this is my husband, Dustin. He does not like these things, so please ignore him. He's amazing. Very thankful for him, and he's absolutely incredible. He's been a huge support system in my life, and so um, he's a great dad. We have four girls,
Yeah, we're girls.
so he is a girl dad, and he's an expert at being a girl dad.
As much as one can be.
Yeah. So there's Kaylee. Kaylee is 20 in college at Sam Houston.
Yep. Go Bearcats.
Just moved her into her apartment this weekend. And then we have Annie, who is 4. We have Lyric, who is 9. And then we have Lucy. Oh, I'm sorry. Lyric's 10.
Lyric is 10.
Just turned 10. That's weird. And then we have.
But I remember that one. So
yeah, good job. Thank you.
Small victory.
And then we have Lucy, who is about to turn 2 next week. So all girls. And it was funny at one of our, I guess it was our last town halls, somebody mentioned, they were like, you realize in a beehive, all the workers are girls? I was like, well, that's pretty fitting. Oh no, that was at Rotary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so the Hive Collective, Dustin and I have been married for 5 years. And we have just we're a year's mine and ours. He has Kaylee, I have had Lyric, we got married, we've had Annie and Lucy together. But it's kind of cool because it's brought like different perspectives and just it's
Different age groups that, what they're into, what they're not into, all these awesome stories that everybody with kids gets to experience is all the emotions and all the growing. It's incredible.
It really is. Well, and when we got married, he had Kaylee and I had Lyric, and Lyric was, she was little, I guess 4, 5, 4, but 5. She was 5 when we got married, and so it was cool because he had a lot of experience with Kaylee, growing up, and just he was really, really good at like helping me with different things that Lyric was experiencing, and then we have 2 of our own, and we've gotten to experience some things from
Oh yeah.
the beginning.
I don't think anybody can prepare for Annie.
Yeah, Annie's a bombshell. Annie's dynamite. They just started school today, so it's been funny to encourage her teachers to enjoy Annie because Annie's a lot of fun. Um, but basically, we're in Fredericksburg, and we love our town.
It's a great town.
Yeah, I've owned a dance studio for a while, and he's in construction. And his heart for youth is just incredible. And um, so, with the kids trying to figure out what to do with them, I guess, the playgrounds are great. They get a little warm in the Texas heat. So we just, I don't know, we've
There
been
was just something
dreaming.
missing.
Yeah.
It just seemed like there was something missing. I mean, when we were kids, I felt like it was. I don't know that it was any more safer or any less safer, or maybe we were just oblivious to it. But I mean, we were always out and about, but typically we were out and about in the town or in the area somewhere doing something, and it just it felt like something the kids were really missing. And not only that, but just in general, it's somewhere for the community. I mean, that was kind of the idea with the hive. It's not just for the youth; it's for everybody, and it's just a place to start connecting with each other again and helping each other and experiencing just what makes this town so amazing, and that's the people, and giving them a place to be a part of something, I guess, together.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, him and I have been dreaming about this kind of for years. I mean, since we got married, really, we're like, man, wouldn't it be cool if there's a community center, or wouldn't it be cool if there was this? And
Yeah,
I mean, I think, he's also, he was in the army for 8 years, right?
yeah.
And so, like, I'm sure bases had community centers, right? Maybe?
There was they do focus a lot on morale. So there's quite a bit of stuff that's out there. But on the same lines is it's kind of like the idea with the community center was is the same thing with Fredericksburg. There are so many great foundations and organizations here in Fredericksburg. It's just incredible, which we really weren't aware of until we started this process and until we really started wanting to pursue something of this size and realize, I mean, it takes a village, and there's some great organization. There's a lot of great hearts out there that are really wanting to help this community, and that you would think that it would almost discourage you a little bit because you're like, well, what are we offering? And if there's already all these great people out here, like, what are we offering? Are we just going to get kind of lost in it? And it's not. It's the total opposite. It was encouraging to see that there are so many great people out there trying to do the same thing in a way, and just pouring their heart into people and loving people. That the idea is the community center is to bring all of that together.
Yeah.
To help people get in contact with those scenarios, to just give people a place to come to and maybe not have to focus on that. Maybe not focus on what the problem is at the moment, but maybe just be in an environment around people and people loving on them, and maybe they'll open up, and then maybe we can really start reaching people.
Yeah.
But
And it was cool to see, like, God work through all of this. So, um, owning the dance studio has always been like by God. Like, literally, God put us through. He helped the studio survive because I knew nothing about running a dance studio. And I think, it's been cool to see, I guess, what was it, like last year, really started kind of praying about direction. I guess it was last year, of where to go with the dance studio. And we opened a nonprofit up last summer called the Jeremiah 2911 Foundation.
she says we, but that was mostly all her on that one.
It was definitely a we thing.
That was her heart. Sure.
Well, and the goal was to help kids get, scholarships to do extracurricular activities. And that's essentially what spurred all of this on. And then it was crazy. I remember having this like vivid dream. I don't dream. I think the only time I've dreamt is when I was pregnant. And having this vivid dream, and in my dream there were three guys. We pull up to this place and we have all the kids, and we get out of the car, we're all wearing Jeremiah t-shirts, and there's this place, and it was just big, like this big old garden and just like this big place. And we get out of the car with our kids and we're going to work. Like, this is where we go every day. And there are three gentlemen there who look really ragged, run down, and my sweet husband, you gotta know him. He's like the coolest guy ever, and he likes wearing sombreros. Like, I don't even know if you call them sombreros. But he just like bebops over to one of these guys and he's like, hey, and then they go off to go work in the garden, and then the girls and I go inside, and there's like a studio space, and there's like all these places for counseling, and there's like this shop and a cafe and like all of this stuff. And these people are like working there, but they're working there to like reap the benefits. So the guys who were working in the garden were working in the garden and taking home the food they brought in, which is a community garden.
Right.
And I was like, babe, this is crazy. And he was like, you need to write that dream down. That's cool. And I really do believe that was kind of a God dream. I think that was, I mean, I don't know. I would have never dreamt anything like that.
Right.
There was no reason to dream anything like that. I wasn't pregnant.
Right.
And then, here we are a year later, we're opening a community center, which is pretty cool. The goal behind the community center would be to have a 13,000 square foot building. We want to have two, this is my favorite part, indoor playgrounds. One for the younger kids, one for the older kids. Now, when you hear indoor playground for the older kids, that's not usually something that goes hand in hand. But if you've been to like a trampoline park, imagine that without the trampolines. And then we really want that room to be designed by the teenagers, the older kids. And then we'd like to have a library, a small library. He
The library is kind of my thing.
It's
I
totally
don't
his
know why,
thing.
but it's and I don't read. I promise. The only book that I've really ever read is the Bible, and I'll proclaim that out right now. But no, the idea is something very whimsical for the kids, make it fun. But I don't know why, but I've always had this vision of a sock puppet stage, and so I want to have like a really nice professional sock puppet stage. Kids can make their own sock puppets, or we can put on plays. I'm pretty sure there's probably still some professional sock puppeteers out there that maybe we could get. Maybe we
Book
get Sesame
readings?
Streets in.
Hey.
You never know. I don't know. But I think it would just be neat, and then I think it would be neat to be able to have maybe the seniors come in and read kids to the books a couple of days of the week, or maybe even every day of the week, maybe at a certain time. I don't know. I mean, it's the idea is that hopefully people, once we create the space, people will have a desire to fill it, and to just fill it with love.
And bridging the generational gaps, like, connecting kids to the elderly and connecting, teens to the kids, and just kind of like building this like a community. I mean,
Well, there's something about, I guess, there's something about grandmas reading you a book. I don't know.
Right.
It don't even have to be your grandma, but just a grandmother reading you a book. It's. I think most kids listen a lot
it's
better than they do
homey.
today. Yeah.
And we'd like to have a cafe. I love coffee. I run on coffee. Like,
Thank you, Kalichi.
massive shout out to Kalichi, where we do this Tuesday buzz most of the time. I run on coffee, and I think every mom probably does, but having like a little coffee cafe with healthy food, there's we have some great little stops to get healthy snacks around here. Yeah, and we have kind of our stops that we do as families. We go, but it would be cool to have snack packs that are healthy.
Well, and also, community provided in the sense,
Yeah.
that it's all locally sourced, either through the garden, which, I know we have to figure out all that, like health wise and stuff. But the idea would be is that the community garden outside would be able to do a lot of that, plus also be able to give to the food pantry, etc. In abundance. And then I just think it would be neat to be able to source, everything
Yeah.
we have here in Fredericksburg
Locally.
if possible.
For sure. Yeah. And that's definitely the goals. And two, like we just talked to this great guy over at the farmer's market the other day, or he did. It's our honey dealer. We
Oh, yeah.
love honey. And we
He's
really want
Our
to,
honey plug.
our honey plug, we really want to plug in his honey. Specifically, we think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
And just local people, people at the farmer's market, people who do crafty things, and just getting that there, we'd like to have a fitness/dance studio. I feel like with my studio, I was always kind of leaning towards the nonprofit side. Anyways, I loved to give away dance tuition. Probably did that way too much. But I just feel like that's kind of more maybe where my heart's geared, is just doing
Mission based.
yeah, more mission centered, for sure. So we'd like to have dance fitness studio, where the kids can feel like they're doing fitness classes with kids.
And then hopefully be able to do like karate classes
Yeah,
or
self-defense.
anything. Yeah, I mean maybe
Mhm.
do salsa classes.
That'd be cool. Couples dancing.
Yeah, anything like that. The idea is that the room is created for the space, and that's kind of
Movement.
the idea of the community center. Is that we are creating a space. We want to create rooms. We want to create executive offices that people with small businesses can use. We want to create. Ideally, what would really be cool, and again, these are all dreams, is to have a full commercial kitchen, professional kitchen that we can do date night cookings. We can also do accredited cooking classes. Just create the space and then put it in a loving environment and encourage people to come be together.
Well,
Yeah.
and it's cool because like he's been the big driving force between the credited classes, and I think it's really neat. He's the one who that's really been your baby the whole time, and I think it's neat to see all the things, like people we've been talking to and the people he's been talking to. That was something too when we prayed about the studio, and it was kind of one of those things that we were like, okay, I feel like this is where we're supposed to go. The next day, I think we probably had some like, okay, this is a huge thing. This is kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, where do you start? It's like
Yeah.
the whole eating an elephant thing. We didn't know what we didn't know.
Yeah, and we were like, oh, okay, this is a great dream. We're gonna do this someday. But then it was like the next day,
Yeah.
he like went to work so he's a contractor. I don't know if I mentioned that, but he went to work and he was talking to someone, and that guy was like, "Whoa, this is a good idea. I'd love to help you design something." And like he's like, "I just donate my services." And he was like, "What, really?" And he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And then it was like door open and then door open, and for him there was like hundreds of doors being open, and me too on my end, and we were like, okay,
Yeah, there's just
This
too
is
many big
supposed to
arrows
happen.
pointing at it, like, in case you didn't notice.
this is what you're supposed to do. And so it's crazy because the I would say this is probably, other than him, this is the one thing, and obviously God, but other than my husband, this is the one thing I feel like in my life that I've been like, oh, this is totally gonna happen. Like, this is God ordained. This is supposed to happen, and it's gonna happen.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird. We get asked all kinds of crazy questions about, like, how much money do you need and where is it going to be, and which is understandable. Everybody wants to know, and
Yeah.
we are deeply working on that. There's some really cool stuff in it, and
Should we tell him?
no, I don't think so. I don't think so yet.
All
I feel
right.
like it's one of those things that, for the people, for you guys, I think it's one of those, once it gets a little bit more concrete, because otherwise it could be emotional. 'Cause they're pretty big.
It could. It's a big
I mean,
thing.
they're
It's a
big,
really
so
big thing.
if it happens, it's a knockout of the park.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, then it's hard to.
It's a rumble right now.
well,
Yeah.
And also, it's like, it's hard to. I don't want to compare anything else. Like,
Yeah.
if we put it out and then you compare it, and that's a hard place. But
It's a
God
hard-
knows.
Yeah,
And God
it's
knows, and God's gonna make it happen wherever He sees fit, and that's what we're talking about. It's just oddly confident.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. Like,
It's
just
true. It's just like this confidence that we
know
haven't
what's
had
happening.
in a lot of things. Yeah, and we just want to, when like I love how he said this, because this has been something we really have wanted to drive home, is the fact that we are not competing with anybody.
No.
We
Opposite, yeah.
we it's quite the opposite. We don't want to do this and have any kind of competition. So like, we've heard that the Golden Hub, it's a great community center.
That's a great
And
community
it's
center. And you're
fantastic.
actually going to be teaching classes
I
over there.
am. I'm going to be
so-
teaching some dance classes over there.
And I've heard, and I'm never over there, but I know quite a few people that go there for lunch. And,
Yeah.
from what I understand, it's extremely affordable and it's quite tasty.
I've
so-
heard it's really good, and so maybe I get to try some.
And you might meet the
dancing over
sheriff.
there.
I know the sheriff goes there from time to
All
time.
right. Well, so the Golden Hub, like say, we're not competing with them. We want them to come join us and do things.
Right. That would be something, that we would be able to add to. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, to be able to join and.
And we want to be able to point people too in those directions.
Right, exactly. Well, and that was kind of the idea too, right? Is like with the Giving Fiesta thing that we did quite a few times, in which we're going to be doing another one if any of you guys are watching. We got one coming up pretty soon, actually. So we're just
September.
trying to tighten that up. September, yep. But with the Giving Fiesta, what was neat about the Giving Fiesta is that it was a no walls up meeting of people. There was no expectations. There was no anything of anybody. Nobody was asking anybody of anything. It was just a place that you could come if you needed something. And,
You should tell them what the Giving Fiesta was.
well, it's just a place like, basically, our kids had abundance and we decided to get rid of it. And instead of just selling it, we decided, let's give it away.
And teach
Yeah.
our kids.
Right.
Yeah.
And let's, use it as an opportunity to teach our kids that, not always, more isn't always better. Right. And so being good stewards of what we have, and,
If we no longer want it, or we can no longer
Right.
fit in it, let's just give it to someone.
exactly. Let's move it down the road and maybe bless somebody else with it. And so we did this, and then it kind of grew, and
Monthly.
the incredible donations. I mean, we had people from all over the country, actually.
Yeah, literally, like people mailing us
Yeah,
stuff. It was
people
cool.
mailing us stuff, and just seeing God work through that was incredible. But anyway, the idea was it though is that it was just a friendly, welcoming, loving place that you could go to, and there's no expectations when you walk in there.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? The kids were
Yeah.
playing in our backyard with our kids and
Yeah.
on the playground.
And it's in the format of a garage sale. So it's in the format of it looks like a garage sale from the
Yes.
road,
And
but
thank you, Sarah and Adam Washburn, for the playground. That thing gets a lot of
yes,
use.
a lot of use. And so like the kids would come, the parents would come and think that they're going to a garage sale, and they'd be looking through things, and the kids would be like, oh, we're like, yeah, go play on the playground.
Yeah.
And then they would come to us and be like, how much? And we'd be like, oh, it's free. And they're like, what? And so it's cool
Yeah.
watching them leave with it. Sometimes it'd be like,
Well, it was just
What?
the idea, you know what I mean? And it was people would start opening up to just see that people cared, and it's not in a threatening environment, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. So, anyways, and so that was kind of the idea with the Hive Collective is to create that environment to where it's just a place to come. It's just a place to be, and while you're there, hopefully you get the trust of people that are there around you, and if you need something, to reach out, and then
Yeah.
we can point them out to wherever it is they need to go. But
Well,
the
and
idea
that-
is, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I'm horrible at interrupting him. But the with that concept, like with that being said, so like with the Giving Fiesta, we would have like diapers or whatever.
Mhm.
And so what we've been able to do is during the month, we'd have people who are like, hey, do you have size whatever with diapers? Like people would randomly message us, and we would send them to the mom center if we didn't have it. And so,
Right.
but like he's saying, creating that relationship takes those walls down to where we can communicate and send them when they need to go.
Right, yeah. And so that's the underlying, like, that's the giving side of it. That's where our heart is, and that's ultimately our goal, is to be able to help people.
Mhm.
Like that is the idea, is to help people through education ultimately, because that's the idea the community center is now. Once we have that and we have people, then what do we do about it? Instead of just a handout, which we all know that doesn't normally help as much. But there are times where people just need something, absolutely. But try to culture just a different way of living, a different way of looking at things. So the idea with parenting classes, financial classes, which again, there's all these services are already out there and provided. Think there's some ways that we can, just maybe access a few different people by doing it a little bit different, or doing it the way that we feel led to do it, I guess. I
Well,
don't
and
know how else to
offering
put
a
that.
space where it's all in one place.
Right,
So,
exactly.
you don't have to guess maybe where that class is per se. Like that group's going to be leading it in our conference room at the community center because it's a community center. I love it because my sweet husband came up with the name, The Hive, based on the biblical Beatitudes.
Yeah.
And we really think it would be cool to, it's crazy when you look at Jesus in the Bible. He was so into the people. He was with the people. He was with the worst people, and he was with the best people, and he was in with them. He wasn't just standing above or going to, the place that was the best. He'd be hanging out at a modern day bar, right? Like
A brothel.
Yeah. Like stuff like that. Like he was just being a good person to the people who needed it the most, and the people who, were great people, were seeing what he was doing, and it was an example. And I think, biblically speaking, I think having a place, I love this comparison, and I've been using it, I guess, a lot. But C.S. Lewis writes really great books like Narnia and stuff. And if you walked away after reading the Narnia book, you could be like, whoa, that's really biblical, the whole series. And I think sprinkling the Beatitudes into the Hive, where it's not like we're sitting here preaching at you, but it's like you are internalizing a biblical beatitude without having it preached, and it's just like whimsically hidden in a place that will reach your soul,
Which does lead to, we are Miss Christine Nordemeyer is a fantastic artist over at IHS.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's kind of one of the things, like, we are, even though like that's how confident we are, we're moving forward. We're already building this thing. Even though we don't have a location yet, we're building it.
She's building us a stained glass window piece.
She's going to do one of the art pieces. Yeah, that's
like already.
That's incredible. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
We really
IHS.
look forward to that.
Yeah, and so this this little chapel, because we'll have a stained glass chapel in the back. And so, that's another thing we're doing. So all the families, the $5,000 investors, the families, founding families, we're already creating your bricks. So these are things like, physical items, physical steps
Yeah.
in faith that we're just like
I
doing.
mean, it's going somewhere.
It's going somewhere.
put
You
it-
will have a
It
hive shape.
is
your
going.
brick.
We'll put it down where everybody can see it. I promise.
And if you come to our gala, you'll see the physical evidence of our stuff.
For the
So
bricks,
yeah, the bricks, and I think Christine's even
Oh, is that gonna be
aiming.
done?
I think
That
so.
would be
She's aiming
incredible.
for the gala too.
That would be cool to be able to show that off.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
So we'd like to have people to volunteer their time to be around. Some mentors.
a lot of that. A lot
people
of
to help with homework, tutors.
yeah, tutoring, discipleship, mentoring. The idea would be is that there's most people want to serve too. I think in a lot of ways. I think a lot of people, especially here in the Hill Country. I mean, we're already that way. I mean, I don't know. That's like
It's like a hill country thing. I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a Texas thing, and then it's a Hill Country thing, and I think that Fredericksburg is another great example of that. I mean, it's a very unique petri dish in a way. It's like we got stuff here. It's a good little mixture, but it's still that great small town that we know. And I mean, and that's kind of the thing is like most of the people that grew up here. I mean, this conversation has been had I don't know how many times about a community center or something to do for the kids. You know what I mean? This is just, it's always been something there.
Yeah.
And so the idea too is there's a couple locations that we're looking at. So to kind of play upon that to where it's, excuse me, it's just creating an environment. It's creating a safe environment that kids can come and that families can come as well, and that everybody can benefit from. And
it's whimsical and vibrant.
It's vibrant,
lively.
Yes, exactly. And we talk about different parts of it that we want to do, and that was kind of the big thing too for me, I guess, is that these are all our great ideas, but we really want to hear back from the community. We want to hear back from you guys and other things that we may not even thought of. Like I said, there's so many things that we don't even know that we don't know yet.
Yeah, like Chrissy's idea about transportation, like that's genius,
Yeah, absolutely.
And Priscilla's ideas of the pool table, like things that these people have given us are just such a fantastic ideas, and they really reach the heart of the community. And so, if you have any ideas, please feel free to message us. Please leave them in the comments under this video. And please share this video, because like the steps that we're in right now is we're in so we are in the momentum stage. We are in fundraising and momentum.
We kind of skipped a few steps.
We did.
Yeah,
apparently there's a silent stage, and we totally missed that
like
one.
we said, we've just kind of left over and jumped in headfirst into this thing. So apparently,
but I think it was I think it was how it's supposed to be, but apparently a good fundraising stage is the silent stage, and we missed that one. But
yeah, we didn't ever start with silent.
No, we weren't silent at all. We just went full force.
Thank you, Mr. Hoover, for that.
Yeah, that was a good advice, because it's really been great for this.
Thank you for your encouragement and your support. We really appreciate that. Thank you for the guys that have already donated for us for Hill Country.
Hill Country Church, yes, they believed in us, and
Pastor Rob and those guys over there. That's a great community, and that's a great fellowship. If you guys are looking for a church, highly recommend.
And Alice White
Yes,
donated.
ma'am.
She's one of our founding families. She's the sweetest lady ever. She's incredible.
Morning Rotary Club member.
Yeah, yep. Morning
Thursdays.
Rotary. So, but anyways, we just thought we'd get on here and tell you the Tuesday buzz about the Hive and introduce ourselves. We're kind of the, executive directors, I guess you could say.
Something. I don't know. I feel like we're kind of the inmates running the asylum here. But
Did you just call our board members prisoners?
No,
Whoa.
I was thinking more of, what's the other one? But anyways, yeah.
Our monkeys in our circus, maybe.
We're definitely the monkeys.
Oh my goodness, we're a lot of fun. Okay, he's a lot of fun. Anywho, so this is the Hive Collective, and we're the people, some of them, behind it. But really, you guys are behind it. You guys are the visionaries.
Yes.
You guys are what
yeah.
we're doing this for. So
And I don't know how to say that, and that's kind of what, and that was the other part too. I guess we didn't explain that. So the end goal. The end goal with the community center is that basically Jeremiah 2911 Foundation was building the Hive Collective. All right. And so we are going to build the Hive Collective, the community center, with the help of the community. And then, with the help of the community, create bylaws and a structure for the future of the Hive Collective and how it will operate and conduct itself. So that way it stays on mission base, right? So it doesn't get to deviate. So hopefully,
It doesn't turn into a business all about the money type
right,
of situation.
exactly. Well, and it stays about the community and it's community ran.
Yeah.
And so with that, the Hive Collective will be a membership. I mean, it's a Hive Collective. I've really never thought of a good way to just describe it. I mean, other than saying community center, the Hive Collective.
It'll be a nonprofit of its own,
right.
and it'll have its own membership, but it'll also be like, the membership is hopefully what you pay. If you cannot afford the membership, we would love to be able to provide for you.
And it's going to be basically a bare bones minimum membership because, we do have to be able to afford to keep the place open and to be able to afford to pay people to operate the place, clean the place, etc. Unless we just had 100% voluntary and of everything, that would be amazing. But if that doesn't happen, so the idea with it though is that there's also, again, like we were talking about earlier, already a abundance of amazing nonprofits and foundations that will actually help with that as well for these kind of dues, these membership dues and etc. like that, especially with
scholarships essentially.
Basically,
and then there would be an application. Nobody's turned away. There's like an application process, you go through. We don't want to just be giving free memberships away because like he says, we're in Fredericksburg. We got to run the place and afford.
Well, we hope to have good teachers there. I mean, basically every dollar will be accounted for and will be going to the benefit of the community.
But the goal is it's a nonprofit and it is running for the eternity of Fredericksburg.
And we hand it over. So Jeremiah 29:11 is now steps out of it, hands it over to a board elected by the members of the Hive Collective, and then there will be term limits on it, and then you'll vote in new board members, etc. And that way, it kind of evolves over the years.
Yeah. So it's going to be so it never dies with us, and that's the goal.
Well, and it's not about us, right?
Exactly.
So like we were saying, so we love you guys. We want to make this happen. We'd love to hear your guys' thoughts, your support.
And we can't wait to tell you all the things that we talk about tomorrow on our board meeting. So, but anyways, happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Tuesday Buzz, and please share.